On the Raw after WrestleMania, Paul Heyman aligned himself with not only Seth Rollins, but also Braun Breaker to form this new faction. Is it a new evolution? Is it a new dangerous alliance? I don't know, but what I do know is in today's video, I'm going to be looking at 10 possible options to join this faction. Number 1 is my personal pick, with number 10 being my least favorite. But at the end of the video, I'm going to go into the presumption that this is going to be a new dangerous alliance and show you what I think the entirety of the faction should be. Let's get into it. Let's kick things off at number 10 with Sami Zayn. Now, a lot of people are throwing his name out there. A lot of people are pitching him. And look, I understand it, right? Sami Zayn undoubtedly deserves a push. And joining this faction, it could give that to him. But at the end of the day, Seth Rollins is going to be the main guy. And unless Sami Zayn is the main guy in a faction like this, I'm just not entirely sure it is needed. Would it be something new and fresh for Sami? Undoubtedly, but I'd actually rather see him be a babyface trying to go against this faction. In at number 9 from NXT, Javon Evans. Now, Javon is undoubtedly an absolute star. The sky is truly the limit for this guy. He really is going to be at the top of the card for years and years and years to come. I mean, the guy is 2 years younger than me, which is just absolutely wild. I think of myself as young, and this guy's doing just all of this at that age. It is absolutely unbelievable. So you might be wondering, why is he so low on this list? Well, that's kind of just because I don't think they should call him up yet. I genuinely think he should be in NXT for another 12 to 18 months. Really build a character around him. Do a Braun Breaker kind of, where you test him as a face and a heel in NXT, and then when you call him up to the main roster, you know what he's capable of. He's young and has so much time left. I really don't think they need to rush with calling him up or anything like that. I mean, this guy is 2 to 3 decades left in this industry. Now, in at number 8, Ilia Dragunov. And this is somebody who I do think deserves a push. And I do think him being in this faction would really elevate him. No doubt about it. He is still in his early 30s. He has got so much potential and so much time left. And this is going to be a common theme throughout this video, that I do think younger guys should be the people joining this faction. I do think it should be making younger stars just like a Braun Breaker. And while Ilia Dragunov is a few years younger, he is still young. He still has time. So I do think him in the faction would make a lot of sense. Now, the reason why he's so low down is I'm just not entirely sure how good of a fit he would be. I do think it would make sense, but at the same time, I do think Dragunov is going to be able to get over on his own when he returns from injury. But I wouldn't be against it. In at number 7, we have Bayley. And listen, I don't think there's anybody on this planet who can deny right now that Bayley was screwed over at WrestleMania. Taken off the card like that, she said it's not a real injury. I mean, I can't believe it. She really was screwed. And yes, last year she did win the Women's Championship, right? So she can't act too hard done by. She did have a Mania moment the year before. But ultimately, Bayley is one of the 4 horsewomen, and definitely the most underutilized one. But I will say this about her, right? I'm a big Bayley fan, but this current Bayley gimmick absolutely sucks. It feels like it's just not really a character at all. It's not her first gimmick, the hugger gimmick, which she couldn't have gone back to anyway because that's too far gone now. But at the same time, it just feels weird. And I think that's the reason why fans aren't connecting with her as much as they once did. So turning her heel once again, I do think could be effective. And putting her in this faction would immediately elevate her back into that main event scene as well. So I do think, again, it makes sense. But the question kind of is, well, it's kind of twofold. One, does Bayley need this faction? I actually don't think so. And secondly, why would she join it? And it's that one I can't really get over. I can't really find an answer for. So while I really would like to see this happen, I don't think it will happen. In at number 6, Trick Williams. Trick Williams has been in NXT for a long while now, and I do think he is ready for a call-up. And this undoubtedly will push him and elevate him to the stars straight away. But the question is, does Trick Williams need a faction? I don't think so. I do think this would, push the rocket to him a little bit, but at the same time, he's gotten so over on his own in NXT that I'm not entirely sure that it is needed. But if he is going to be a top star in the company for years to come, then maybe this is a good way to just push him out of the gates. But if it is going to be somebody from NXT, my favorite pick out of everybody would be Obafemi. Now, of course, Obafemi is currently the NXT champion, but hey, there's ways around that. They've called up the NXT champion before, right? And I actually wouldn't mind seeing him vacate the belt as well to protect him in the case of Obafemi, just because I do think he should be protected. Now, the question is, would this faction be too overloaded with too many stars if Obafemi was in it? If you had both Obafemi and Bron Breakker, the two guys who I believe are going to be the Rock and Stone Cold of this era. In my opinion, no. I think it could work. I really, really do. But does Obafemi need it? No. Do I think it could work? Absolutely. But before we go any further, if you guys could please leave a like and subscribe, that would be massively appreciated. Here at Wrestling Republic, we create between 5 to 10 free videos every single week, and in addition to that, we do a live daily stream every single day at 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. Pacific. Thank you guys so much. But now we get into my top 4, right? And my preference is that they pick younger stars from the main roster. Because let's face it, there's quite a few young guys on the main roster who just haven't been utilized to the best of their ability. And this faction is an opportunity to repackage those guys. So I do think that young people currently on the main roster, rather than NXT, should be the focus when choosing who they want in this faction. And that brings me to number 4, Carmelo Hayes, a guy who I've been a big fan of for years. You guys know me, I love to shout out the fact that I said this guy was the next big thing before, basically anybody knew him. I saw him at an independent show with just a couple of hundred fans, and I was like, yeah, this guy is hella talented, and he's going to be a big, big deal in professional wrestling. And his debut on the main roster wasn't a bad debut year, but it certainly wasn't a good one either. He kind of was just in filler mid-card feuds, and now he's doing Mellow Don't Miz. So I do think he needs to repackage, and quite frankly, I think he would be perfect for this faction. But again, Mellow Don't Miz is currently ongoing, and they're clearly building something with Mellow, so I just don't think it's going to happen. But I really hope I'm wrong, because if it was up to me, I'd have him in this faction. But talking about being underutilized, but having tons of potential at a young age, up next, we have Omos. I mean, this guy, I don't understand how they're not utilizing him more. He went over to Japan, he was absolutely killing it there, and they brought him back and they've done absolutely nothing with him. My hope is that there's a bigger plan for him, and maybe this is the bigger plan. Maybe the plan is for him to be the muscle of this faction. A lot of people thought that would be Bron Breakker, but maybe Bron Breakker is just going to be another main event star alongside Seth Rollins, and you need somebody else to be the muscle, and Omos to be that guy, I think would be brilliant. And him working alongside Paul Heyman too, he'd learn a hell of a lot. I mean, this guy is literally a giant, right? How on earth they're not making money out of him right now, I can't get my head around. So I definitely would love to see this one. In at number 2 is the no-brainer pick. It is Becky Lynch. She is the wife of Seth Rollins. She just turned heel. It's destiny. It's meant to be. It's clear as day. She doesn't need this faction. She definitely doesn't need this faction. But I think she's going to be in it. And quite frankly, seeing her and Rollins in the same faction together as heels, I'm all for that. We briefly saw them together on screen in 2019 when they were both babyfaces. And let's face it, that felt flat on its face. But as heels, I do think it could be effective, and I am here for it. But number 1, you guys can probably predict who I'm going to say here, but Austin Theory. I'm a big Austin Theory fan. I think he's been underutilized, and he's still only 27, by the way, guys. He's done this much, and he's only 27? I mean, come on. Yes, he's now been out of the main event picture, even the upper mid-card picture, for a couple of years, but I still have faith in him. And I believe working alongside Paul Heyman in a faction like this could be the repackage which he needs. And we need to get him out of this thing with Grayson Waller ASAP, because it has been a complete and utter failure for both men, if we're being honest here. And Austin Theory getting a push into the main events, even just upper mid-card scene once again in this faction, I do think would be huge for him. He still has potentially 2 decades left in this business. Let's make the most out of this. Let's make some money out of him. Let's push him to the stars. And I do think now he is ready for it. But if this is going to be a new dangerous alliance with Paul Heyman, then this is who I think it should be. Obviously, Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker, but I would also have Omos as the muscle, Becky Lynch as the women's competitor, and then Austin Theory as the mid-card guy. I think all 5 of these people would be elevated during this faction and would come out of it for the better. And you could eventually have a WrestleMania main event between Theory, between Breakker, between Rollins, and between Omos. A 4-way main event with 3 of those guys being 30 or under. I mean, listen, that is setting up the future the same way that Evolution set up the future, the same way that The Shield set up the future. And over WrestleMania weekend, quite frankly, a concerning amount of WWE wrestlers said they want to retire in the next few years. So this is setting up the future, and it is something that WWE need to do. But what about you guys? Who do you guys want to see in it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!